If you want to instantly improve your chord melody guitar playing, stick around because you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Mike Hayes and welcome to Chord Melody Guitar, Part 71. In this video, we'll be focusing on how to combine single notes with two-note harmony notes and triads plus four-note chords to create your own unique chord melody style on guitar. To get the most out of this session, be sure to check out our previous videos on the topic of borrowed notes. I'll put the links in the description section below this video. Okay, let's get started. Our first project will be to play the C6 diminished scale in a linear fashion. We'll be starting on the note A. Here we go. Next we'll play a harmonised version of the C6 diminished scale. You'll notice that there's two different coloured dots. The purple dot represents the scale that we've just played, and the red dot represents the harmony note below the melody. Here goes. Our next step will be to play triads created from the C6 diminished scale. And what I'm wanting to do here is to create the movement from a C chord to a diminished chord. Now of course not all the four notes are present to spell the complete chord. Sometimes we'll just have the notes of a C triad and I'll be naming it as C6th. Other times there'll be simply the notes of a B diminished triad, not a B diminished seventh. However, what I'm hoping to achieve here is the understanding of the role of each triad, moving from a C chord to a diminished chord. We'll only be using the very first part of this exercise in this video, but it will be a good idea for you to practice this and understand where these triads lay on the fingerboard for future sessions. Before we play the exercise, I'd just like to take a moment to explain the colour coding of the diagrams in front of you. The purple dot represents the original scale that we played. The red dot represents the harmony below the melody note, and the green dot represents a harmony note above our original melody. When I'm referring to the melody, I'm referring to the original scale that we played. That's the purple dots. Okay, here we go. Our next project will be to create some thematic development. And for this, what we're really going to do is just take a very small series of notes. In this instance, it'll be the notes A, B, A. Now what we're going to do is play various chords, initially either a C sixth chord or a C major seventh chord, and then follow that chord with the notes A, B, A. Let's firstly have a listen to just the notes played on their own. In this next example, you'll notice there's a one beat rest on the first beat of the bar. So therefore there'll be 4 clicks in and then 1 click before the melody. Here goes. And that 3-note sequence is going to be like a little motif that will constantly keep reappearing in the following series of exercises. However, it will sound different depending on the choice of chords that's played before it and the choice of harmonies. For this next example, we'll begin with the C6th chord, then our note sequence. If I take into account that the highest note in this particular voicing of C6 is the note E, our new melody will have the notes E on the first beat and then our old friends A, B, A. Let's have a listen to our new melody. Here's that same melody again, only this time we'll be playing a C major 7th on the first beat of the bar. And remember that C major 7th is really a C6th chord with a borrowed note. So the C6th and C major 7th are really interchangeable chords. Let's have a listen. With most of the exercises, there's only a very subtle difference between one example and the next. The important thing is to really pay attention to the sounds that you're making. So while your fingers are learning new shapes on the guitar, we want to take our time to allow the sounds to make an impression on our musical memory. The interesting thing about our musical ear is that it has a memory for the sound that it's just heard, but it can't tell what's coming up. In effect, everything that you play in that bar is impacted by the sound of that first chord. Therefore, the moral of the story is, the slower you go, the faster you learn. Our next exercise begins with the C6 chord. We have our familiar melody notes, only this time they are accompanied by a harmony note. So we have a C6 chord, and in this instance the harmony notes are placed below the melody. Here's the same idea, only this time a C major 7th chord first, then our harmonised melody. Okay, this is where it starts to get interesting. I'm going to mix several colours, and by that I mean single notes, harmony notes and triads together with our 4-note chord to create some variety in our playing. Now you'll really have to concentrate to see what I'm up to here, but the effort will be well worth your while. I'm going to begin with the C6 chord. Next we'll play the note A from our melody. On beat 3 I'm going to play B, which of course is part of our melody. However, this time I'm playing a harmony note, the G sharp, below the beat. This is the same idea that we did in the previous exercise. On beat 4 I'm going to play a triad. Now if you have a look at this triad, we have our A note in the middle. That completes our original melody of A, B, A. However, we have the note G moving down while a note C is played above it. So this creates a new melody. However, we still have our original motif embedded underneath the new melody. Let's have a listen to how this sounds, and I'm sure you'll get the feeling of an ever-expanding harmony. Let's have a listen to that new melody, and remember what we're doing here is just focusing on the top note of the chord, and even the top note of that new harmony that we've created on beat 4. So our new variation on the original melody is now E on the first beat, A on the second, B on the third, C on the fourth. Here's that same exercise, only this time beginning with C major 7. Time to develop that idea a little bit further. This time I'm going to begin on C6, play our new harmony, and then finish with C major 7. Let's reverse that idea. This next example will begin with C major 7th, then our harmony, and finish on C6th. Right then, let's keep developing that original idea. This time we'll begin on C6th, play our harmonised melody, and then finish with B diminished. And of course, B diminished is the second chord in our harmonised scale when we harmonise the C6 diminished scale. Here we go. With the new addition of the B diminished chord in bar 2, we now have a further development of our original tune. However, our original motif is still embedded in the new variation. Here's the notes in our new 2-bar melody. And remember, we're working this out by taking the highest note in each of the chords that we're playing. In bar 1, we have E on the first beat, A on the second beat, B on the third beat, C on the fourth beat. And then over to bar 2, and the melody note there is F. Let's have a listen to our new variation on the original theme. Now here's that same melody, only this time instead of playing B diminished in bar 2, we'll play D minor 7 flat 5. And remember, this is a chord that's interchangeable with B diminished because it's using a borrowed note from the C6 chord. Here's that same melody again, only this time in bar 2 I'm using 2 related chords. I'm alternating between D minor 7 flat 5 and then resolving it to B diminished. Let's try another variation with our melody. I'll begin with C major 7th, then play the harmony, and then in bar 2 we'll play D minor 7 flat 5. Here's the same exercise, only in bar 2 we'll play D minor 7 flat 5, then B diminished. And now to review everything that we've covered in this session, I'm going to play a 4-bar melody. and then we'll harmonise it using some of the ideas we've presented in this video. Let's have a listen to the melody first. And now let's suppose the basic set of chords behind that melody was a bar of C major 7, in the second bar G7, and then in bars 3 and 4 C major 7. Here's just one of the ways we could harmonise that melody. Well, that's it for today, folks. I do hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope there's something there that you can use in your own music projects. We'll be covering more subjects like this in future lessons, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications bell. Also, if you enjoy the type of things that we're doing here, we'd appreciate if you hit the like button. It really helps us out. If you have any questions or comments, pop them in the comment section below this video. And as always, I look forward to catching up with you again next time. Bye for now.